And for a small recap, see what happened in the last chapter.
Shalom, shalom, everybody.
Shalom. Did we just read 16 last week, or we read 15 and 16? It may be just been 16. All right. So if it's 16, remember at the end of 15, Israel was complaining about, we didn't have no water to drink, right? They started complaining, he brought us out here, we're gonna die out here, because we don't have no water to drink, right? And it's because the water was I believe it was bitter, all right, so they couldn't drink it. So we know what the Most High did. He cleared it up and they was able to drink, all right. But this is their first one of their first acts of murmuring. Then starting 16, starting chapter 16, it starts with this is just 1 month after they got out. They already murmured in the last chapter. They're murmuring again, and now they're talking about the food. All right, and they made this, ridiculous statement. With to God, we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. So you're like, God is bringing us out, delivered from Egypt, just to kill us out here in the wilderness. All right. And of course, that never makes the Most High happy. But nonetheless, the Most High is saying, you know what, y'all going to see something. I'm going to show y'all something else. Okay. And what he did is he gave us manna. All right. And why he called it manna? Because manna means, what is it? All right. That's what it means. What is it? Because they didn't know what it was. Okay. And this is how the Most High was feeding them. So through 6 days, he will give them manna in the morning, and then he will bring quail, all right, in the evening. All right. So when you look at it, they will get a certain rate every day. Okay. And then when the sun come up, it will kind of melt it away. Now, also, he was showing us something, because the whole point of this in verse 4, I'm going to give them a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. So the Most High, remember, he already knows how we are. He knows our minds, our hearts, and all those things, right? But we don't know sometimes. So he'll do certain illustrations through his laws so that we know, we can judge how our love is towards him. This is why Christ showed that same measure. He said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. Okay. So that always been kind of measure stick for us, not for the Most High. Okay. So every day it will go. So the only time, he said, on the sixth day, you're going to gather twice as much. Okay. Because the seventh day is the Sabbath. I don't want you going out there gathering and cook or anything like that. Okay. So he said on the sixth day, you're going to gather twice as much, and you're going to cook twice as much, because that's going to last you for 2 days. Okay. And of course, if you understand it, remember, the sun will melt it. So the sixth day, it actually will preserve for the Sabbath day. So he was showing us that he provides for us every day, and that what? He even gave us a little extra for that, that double portion of the sixth day, so we can keep his Sabbath day holy. Okay. And I think that was the gist of that chapter. Okay, yeah. And so they ate this manna for 40 years, all right, throughout their whole time. They was eating this manna. All right, so that's a miracle. They was witnessing basically a miracle every day. And this what tells you, this is why when you go to the New Testament, it talks about that. People think, oh, if I see a miracle, oh, I'll really believe in God. No, you won't. No, you won't. Right? Because they will see a miracle every day for 40 years, and what? Still having a hard time believing in God. Okay. The Most High provides for us every day, and we still have a hard time believing. Okay. So we want to learn from our forefathers and foremothers. This is why the Most High preserved these texts and stories and everything for us to read. Okay. So that we don't fall under the same example as them. Okay. All right. We are at Exodus chapter 17. Exodus 17. Brother Kai, let me know if I don't know if your audio is all the way working or not.
Good.
If not, okay. All right, Exodus chapter 17. Give us the first two verses. Let me see what the first two verses.
Sharing screen there.
Oh, I thought I was sharing it the whole time.
No, you good, man.
Y'all know, beloved. Y'all gotta check me if y'all know I'm always showing the screen. All right, all praises. Thank you.
Oh, praise. Good. Exodus chapter 17, verse 1. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of Yahweh, and pitched in Rephidim. There was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt Yahweh?
Yeah, give me the next verse as well.
And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?
All right. So we're gonna start there. All right. Congregation of the children of Israel journeyed. All right. They going through this wilderness. All right. And there was no water. All right. We have another issue in dealing with that flesh, beloved. All right. When our flesh starts suffering, we start to realize it gets easy for us to start complaining, right? Being angry, being frustrated, all those kind of things. And if you're not careful, beloved, you're not careful, have you right out in sin, okay? Because you're a little hungry, our forefathers ready to blaspheme. This was, if you really understand, they're blaspheming, going at the Most High like this. Even though they're going after Moses, it's still attack what? It's an attack at the Most High. That's how the Most High sees it, okay? So remember, people, I want to be a leader, I want to be a leader. People don't think about this part with Moses and leadership. He got to deal with all the complaints. All right. Of course, he's all great after he dies and all that stuff, but he was going through it, beloved, dealing with these people, dealing with Israel. All right. We can be a tough crowd. All right. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses. And what they say, give us water that we may drink. Okay. And Moses said to them, why chide with me? Why y'all angry with me? Why y'all coming at me? All right. They said, wherefore do ye tempt Yahweh? Do y'all understand what y'all doing? Y'all acting like, Most High forsake you, all that stuff. Y'all coming at me. Don't y'all know y'all tempting him? Okay. Verse 3, and the people thirsted for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt? Listen, Moses, you brought us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst. She has the same repetition. They ain't even so far out of slavery. They've been in slavery for years and years and years. They was crying that the Most High saved them. And look, soon as he saved them, look what's happening. Oh, man, I'm thirsty. Better be back there. Okay. So listen, now I know when you're thirsty and hungry, beloved, that flesh start crying out. But this is why you have to check that flesh. Don't get it in trouble with the Most High now. Okay. All right. Let's do the next three. I'll open it up for the group.
And Moses cried unto Yahweh, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river. Take in thine hand and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel.
Give me one more.
And he called the name of the place Massa, and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted Yahweh, saying, is Yahweh among us or not?
All right. So we see what's going on. All right. Anybody got anything for 1 through 6? Before I run my mouth. All right. So listen how angry they got. They was thirsty. They was about to what? What should I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. Israel, when we don't get our way, we be ready to take somebody out. And this was what? Their deliverer, their savior. Okay? And I'm saying, of course, we have to understand the context. The Most High is using Moses as a vessel to deliver them. But this is what they ready to do. Kill the vessel or the instrument the Most High uses to deliver. Now, did much change? Remember Christ saying, you just like your fathers? Stephen was saying the same thing. You just like your fathers, ready to kill the prophets and all that stuff? The same DNA. Israel always ready to kill the prophets. Always ready to kill God's messengers. Okay? My beloved, this is something we need to learn. Okay? The Most High ain't gonna have all this mercy because we know better. Okay? So we look at this, and they always name in places, but once again, I want to get this part that he used Moses once again. All right. Go on before the people. Listen, and take with thee of the elders of Israel. Why is he telling to take the elders? Right? So they can be an eyewitness, and they supposed to what? They supposed to pass the message down to the families, to the tribes. Okay? Y'all come up, y'all get a front row seat. So when this stuff start happening, you can check it, and you know for yourself that God is with us. And also, it wouldn't have got so noised abroad if the elders were on one accord. See, this is why it's a strong thing with order. They should have been checking that. When the people start getting all right, I know y'all thirsty. Calm down. Y'all not coming at Moses with this. But some of them elders was right in the mix. So they was hungry. They was thirsty. Okay? So they said, y'all come up. All right. And thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river, take it in thy hand and go. See, like bring that with you. Okay. That's kind of the symbol, the manifestation, that God's doing it. Moses will bring that so people can see it. All right. And once again, they always name it something after certain things that happen. So the same thing here. Because they asked for this and everything, that's why I'm going to name it this. Okay. Not a good name for us, but we did. We start talking back and going at the man of God. Right? All right, verse 8.
Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek, and Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he had let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
Anybody got anything for those verses? Nine through 12. All right, beloved. This is another miracle. This I say, Most High showed a lot of things. Because remember, beloved, miracles are for what? Unbelievers. So he's doing a lot of these things because he need Israel. He need all of us to what? He needed us to believe in him. All right. No point in giving no message or anything out because they didn't believe that God was delivering. Even though they seen all these things, their faith was still what? Up and down. Same thing with us, beloved. You can't be what they call a crisis Christian, right? You only believe when it's a crisis, or you only call on a crisis, but you can't just believe when things are going well. God is just not good when things are going well. And if things are not going well in your life now, God's not good. Or now I don't know what he's doing. He forsook me. Okay. All right. So when we look at this as well, so they will hold Moses' hand up. So they fighting with the Amalek. Okay, so Moses would put his hand up with the rod, and when he does that, Israel's winning the battle. And then when his arms get tired, he put them arms down, and guess what? Amalek started winning. All right, so showing that what he had to keep his hands up. All right, and Israel win. Once again, a representation that when God is with us, right, we're doing things right, God is on our side. He will fight the battle with us. Even though they're physically fighting them, God is fighting them, and this is what he's trying to show you. Because when his hand went down, what happened? They started to lose. Okay. So once again, showing that God is, he already shown his protection. He's showing that he provided. He's just showing certain characteristics of himself so that we can believe. All right. And we can get out of this spirit that has overtaken us, that shouldn't be overtaking us, which is fear. All right. Fear makes people, that's that fear, devil's one of his devices to get you start doubting, to get you start second guessing. This is one, that's why I say Satan's a tempter. How does he tempt you? How do he get you away from your God? That fear gets you away. That doubt gets you away. All right. But the Most High is trying to show us through all these miracles, all these reputable things that we're reading, that listen, you don't need to fear. All right. Perfect love casts out fear. Say it again, beloved. The scripture says perfect love, or love, casts out fear. Right? We got to receive that, beloved. We got to put it in our mind, in our spirit. All right. So most times we got a lot of fear because what? The love is not, we ain't putting that love in there to purge it out. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, what verse are we at, Brother Kai?
Verse 12.
Verse 12, finish the chapter up.
But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomforted Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because Yahweh has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
All right. So he made an altar, one thing you get, a dedication to the Most High is what? That he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay. Yeah, that'll be it. All right. So that's another miracle in itself when Moses had to keep his hand up. So you see, they love Moses then, right? They pray Moses keep them hands up. All right. So once again, another thing to consider and to look at. All right. This is why we had to be mindful, beloved. I just make these points. I take my time with some of these. I know it could be repetitive, but I want to keep repeating it so it can get deep down in our spirits with certain things. All right. Because our forefathers and foremothers were not getting it. All right. And most I desire that none of us be lost. All right. He put it in here so we can understand it and we can learn and grow and edify with it. Okay. All right. Exodus chapter 18. Exodus chapter 18. Did that pretty quick. Let's do the first 3 verses, Brother Kai. I'm sorry, did anybody have anything? I don't think I've seen anything in the chat. Nope. All right. Make sure y'all keep an eye on the chat just in case somebody put something in there. All right, Brother Kai, let's do the first 3 verses of chapter 18.
When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that Yahweh had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jericho, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, and after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershon, for he said, I had been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eleazar. For God of my father said he was my help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh.
So once again, they get the names. Once again, they always naming something. Jeshon, for I said I've been an alien in a strange land. Eleazar, for he was my help and delivered me out the sword of Pharaoh. Okay, basically saying what happened. But should have remembered if we didn't, Midian, remember when Moses flee from Egypt, he went there, he met Zipporah and all them, the father-in-law, and that's where he got married, his wife and everything. And he went back and he left the kids and the wife there, not because Moses trying to be a deadbeat and a bad husband, but when you're doing things, you're going to war and everything, you keep your precious things behind. Okay. So women and children are precious to us, and they still should be precious to us, right? So we didn't want to bring them into that. Okay. So, but the father-in-law, like, here you go. You ain't in there in Egypt no more. So take your kids and your wife back. All right. I'm not gonna say Zipporah might have been a trip. Who knows how she was, but he's saying that, that's your wife, so you take her. Let me see. Okay. If we don't got no hands, nothing on the chat, we'll keep going. Keep going.
Verse 5. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law, Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her 2 sons with thee. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent.
Once again, I mean, straightforward, wouldn't need no precept or anything. So he went, and of course, greeted them, and that's how they will greet beloved, give him a holy kiss, not no funny business. All right. So he's greeting his father-in-law, and ask each other of their welfare. How how we say, oh, how you doing? Everything all right? Those kind of things. And they went into the tent, all right, to discuss and talk and catch up. Okay. And this is something when we greet beloved, trying to get away from that, definitely culture, but you're supposed to do that. Right? Hey, how you doing? Everything good? Everything? You're supposed to be, like that when you're greeting. Okay. So he's giving that his father-in-law that greet. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Verse 8. And Moses told his father-in-law all that Yahweh had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how Yahweh delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahweh had done to Israel, whom he delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be Yahweh, who have delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who had delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians.
All right. So this is a good point. I like this aspect that they bring this out. All right. So there's talks of what priest Moses' father was. We know he's a priest of Midian. Some people argue that he did deal with the Most High God, that he recognized the God we serve somewhat. Some people saying he might have been dealing with another God. All right. But nonetheless, this is still powerful. Either way, definitely didn't deal with other God, because what is he doing? What is he doing when it comes to our God? Moses told his father-in-law all that Yahweh did unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians of Israel, right? And so he's talking about his triumph and what Moses like. This is what he did. This is what our God did. And Jethro what? Rejoice for what? All the goodness which Yahweh had done to Israel, right? He's happy. He said, praise your God. I know he delivered you. I know you was with me. And now you got you deliver all these 100,000 people out without an army, without anything. That's crazy. He can realize that. And that's sad. People can realize it, and Israel don't even understand it sometimes. Okay? But he's given that honor and respect to our God. You read verse 10 as well, right? Yeah. Blessed be Yahweh. He said, blessed be Yahweh, who had delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians. Okay? And from under them. That's a heck of a God to do that. That was no small task. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
Verse 11. Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all powers. For in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and a sacrifice for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening.
All right. So this is a good spot. So now I know, verse 11, now I know that Yahweh is greater than all gods. For the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came, the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses, the father-in-law, before God. So what are we seeing as well when it comes to Jethro? He made a sacrifice unto our God. Okay. And one of the things when sacrificing those things, you brought the elders and them around, they're all eating in these things. And it says before God. All right. So once again, when it's saying that like before God, all that stuff, it's in that presence. When you're going, it's like we come to the feast and everything, that'll be a reference to like before God or presenting yourself before God. It's actually let me see if I can find a reference point to that. I think it's in Joshua. Let me see if I got a note with it. It's like the first verse, so I know it's that. Joshua. I got Joshua 24. Sorry, but I didn't make notes for this chapter, so find in some other notes. So Brother Kai, let's read Joshua chapter 24 and verse 1. Joshua chapter 24 and verse 1.
And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem and called for the elders of Israel and for their heads and for their judges and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God.
This is one of the reference point I make to Job, because it says Job, they came, okay, and they present themselves before the Most High. It's not like they're going up to, heaven and things like that. You can present yourself down here, okay, even on this earth. So when we're looking at this, he's making a sacrifice. He's making an offering to the Most High. They didn't say, oh, you're not Israel, you can't be doing that. No, because our God's supposed to get praise from any and everybody, okay? And then read that part about, read that verse 14 again, that 13-14 again.
And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that, he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto evening?
So, but at that time, remember, we were not an organized people at this time. We're fresh out of slavery. Remember, we had the Egyptians ruling over us and everything. So we didn't have somewhat order and direction when it comes to community and nationhood. Okay. We were just a people coming out. All right. So what was happening is people recognized Moses being the leader. All right. Because even though they argue with him sometimes, they still recognize as the leader. So when you have matters, remember, you got all these people, more problems. Okay. So they're having disputes, they having problems. Who do you go to? You go to the judges. Judges used to be the leader. Okay. But everybody is waiting for Moses with certain judgments. So think about it, you got all these 100,000 people, every argument and stuff they're having, they're going to Moses' tent. So if you got, let's say easily, you might have, maybe let's say 1,000, you have 1,000, they sitting there all day waiting to get to Moses so Moses can do judgment, and Moses is judging them from sun up to sundown. All day, he's over there just sitting there dealing with matters with Israel. Okay. So the father-in-law he's looking like, what is going on? Why are all these people just sitting here waiting for you? All right. So why sitest thou alone and all thy people stand by thee from morning to evening? He's like, why are you by yourself judging all these people all day? Okay. Let's keep reading. We don't have nothing in the chat or anything. Okay. Let's keep reading.
And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good.
Anybody catch why he's saying what you're doing is not good? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Anybody see the problem of what's happening? Yes. Need help from the yes. I don't know who iPhone is, but iPhone is correct. All right. He's all by himself and he need help from the other. So basically the father-in-law is saying that you can't do that. You can't be judging all these people all by yourself. All day you just dealing with judgments all day, every day. He's like, nah, that ain't good. All right. Even though, and this is what we talk about, when we talk about the law, the judgments, all those kind of things, the laws is order. All right. What the teachers think, it makes things easier for us. That's too much of a burden to put on one man. So this is where Jethro, remember, he's already in that leadership position. He already knows a little about order, how the conduct. Even though he probably have this much people as Moses is dealing with, he still knows, nah, this ain't good. Okay. And this is why sometimes, beloved, even if somebody not in the particular faith or know as much you in the scripture, things like that, does not mean you don't listen to them. Definitely, because wisdom, they can still have wisdom in certain things. Just because you know the scriptures don't mean now you are just knowledgeable in every aspect. All right. You know some scripture, that don't mean you know how to do the finances. And I got the spirit of God, so I'm gonna do my finances, and you don't have no wisdom on it. You're gonna mess it up, be in trouble. Okay. But Moses was wise, and at least was listening to him, as you're gonna see. All right. Surely, listen what he's saying. Thou will surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee. You're going to destroy yourself and you're going to destroy them. Okay. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. So he's saying, listen, he's not, like I said, he's doing this out of love. All right. Saying, listen, I know what you're trying to do. You love the people and you're ready to burn yourself out for them. But this is not going to be good for you, and it's not going to be good for the people. Why? Not that Moses' judgment is off, but what happened when you start doing something all day, every day, beloved? You might start getting a little what? Irritated, a little frustrated, right? And if you are in a seat of judgment and the spirit of frustration and, anger, all those kind of things, even though we shouldn't have it in us, right? But those things are going to happen because you burning yourself out. What happened? Your judgment is not going to be pure. And that's what they risk. You're supposed to be dealing with this in righteousness, but if you burnt out, oh my God, this is the 40th person, right? And then you're gonna mess up with the judgment. Okay, so that's the issue. All right. Hold on real quick. Read that again, Kai.
Which verse? Your eye. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
The last two verses.
Last two verses. All right, hold on for 1 second. Give me 1 second. Sorry. You're welcome. You said the last two verses?
Yeah, the last two verses we read.
Yeah. Was it 14? Was it 14 and 15? Okay. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws.
And this is more and more wisdom that he's given out. Okay. And what verse is that? I'm sorry, I had to.
I'm on verse 17.
17. So we look at that. And Moses' father-in-law, once again, because the people come unto me, inquire of God, all right? And he's giving this explanation of why he's doing that, all right? Not that he wants to. And this is something that we need to learn as well, because this is something we need to learn, because even when we're trying to do things and sincere people, right? You try to do as much as you can. Definitely you get in this thing. You're like, I want to just give my all to Most High and everything. And that's good. That's a good spirit to have. But we also have to use wisdom in it, because definitely within these bodies, we can burn ourselves out. And sometimes when you burn yourself out, you're not good to no one. And even the world knows that, even with jobs, even though they'll burn you out the jobs. But when you burn yourself out, you're not that effective, right? As you can be. Okay. So the same thing with this Moses, like, listen, they come into, I have to judge. It ain't like, you know what I mean? I got no option. They come to me, so I'm just doing it. Okay. But the father-in-law just trying to, like I said, is giving them wisdom with this. All right. So 17, Moses' father-in-law said to him, the thing that doest is not good. But verse 16 is very important. When they have a matter, because this is continuation of 15, when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. So Moses saying, listen, they come to me, and I declare what the Most High laws is and his statutes is. Basically, I judge according to what the Most High has in place. So we judge according to the scriptures. So just like you have the same thing, this is what judges do, beloved. Judges are supposed to be a reflection of the laws. When you go to court, right? You go to court, the same thing, right? They judge you according, they're supposed to judge you according to the Constitution, things like that, right? And they supposed to be their own thoughts, their ideas. So when you're looking at Moses saying the same thing, I'm judging according to God's laws and statutes. And this is what we're supposed to do today, beloved. As judges, leaders, whatever, we're supposed to deal with matters according to the law and the statutes. Okay. Now, this could be a problem in a sense, and why Moses is saying this is, this is where he's at, because what? Everybody don't know the laws and the statutes. Okay. So Moses, tapping the spirit, and the Most High got to be giving them stuff, but everybody don't know it fully. Okay. All right. What verse are we at?
We're on verse 17.
Yes. Matter of fact, hold that, because that is a good spot. I don't know if that's Sister Timo or what, using the iPhone. But it's a good verse. It is okay. She said the big con, and I was like, that's only one person usually says that. See, Matthew's 23. Matthew's 23. She pointed that out because that is a good one. So now you can understand. Matthew's 23, 1 through 3.
Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
And some people, I ain't even gonna open that door. All right. But Moses' seat. Moses in the seat of authority and the seat of a judge. Okay. So he's saying the Pharisees take on that seat. That's why Christ saying, anytime you start being all going at the Pharisees and everything, he said, no, they sit in Moses' seat. They sit in that leadership role. Okay. The things that they're telling you, some of their judgment was according to the law. You're going to realize it. They weren't ignorant people. Some of them, a lot of them were hypocrites. But when it came to certain matters, they were accurate because they knew the law. They studied the law. Okay. So with certain matters, well, this person stole, one lamb from me. What should I do? And the Pharisees say, okay, what the law says you do this, you got to give this over. So they was accurate. So he said, no, you listen to what they're saying. He said, do as they command you to do, because they're telling you the things that's written in the law. But after their works, don't follow. Right? Don't follow what they're doing, their works. Okay. So this is something we can also be able to decipher. Sometimes we throw the baby out with the bathwater. But there's people that are good or sober in certain aspects. Their life, they just don't have the discipline in their own lives. Okay. And this is where a lot of times some of our teachers got to, and this is why Christ had to clean that up. He don't want you just being able to say the right stuff. He wants you to do it too. Your life supposed to be a role model. Okay. But he's saying, listen, do as they say, just not as they do. They'll tell you the right thing, they're just not going to do it. Right? If you ask them, what day is the Sabbath? They're going to say the seventh day. Yeah, Sabbath. That's the Sabbath. That's you going to do this. But what? They might not be following through. Oh, are we supposed to steal? Well, the law said thou shalt not steal. No, you cannot, according to be in God's law. But some of them were stealing. All right. So that's the only thing he's just saying, they hypocrites. But they given the correct stuff, they just some hypocrites. Okay. All right. Let's go back to Exodus 18. So now we understand a good thank you, sis, for bringing that out. That's a good precept. Now you can see what that's talking about. Moses' seat as in that judgment seat. Okay. We go a little deeper into it, but we're not going to go further than that right now. All right. All right, Brother Kai, where do we leave off at?
We on verse 17.
17. All right. Go to 15 and walk us down to 17, because I could be in this back, so I'm sorry.
Good. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people came unto me to inquire of God. When they had a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good.
Okay. So once again, we're saying this, walking it down. Hark now unto what? My voice. Listen to me, please. All right. And I don't want you to, you burn out and everybody, everybody be affected by that. Okay. And this is good wisdom. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, and thou mayest bring the causes unto God. All right. So you'll be that, basically that mediator, you're going to be that in that position. Okay. And we're going to see how this setup looks, beloved. Okay. See if it sounds familiar. All right. You read 20?
No.
All right. Read 20.
Let's see. I didn't read 19, did I? No.
I read 19. I went ahead. All right. Read
Okay.
read, you can read 18 to 21. I'm sorry.
God, I'm like, am I bugging? All right, okay. Thou wilt surely wear away, but thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice, and I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt shew them the way therein they must walk, and the work that they must do.
So, yes, Moses have all that. Moses have that wisdom about the law and everything like that. And he's saying, listen, you need to share that. You can't take that whole burden and all that. So he's saying, to be a judge, you do have to have knowledge of the law and what you're representing. Okay. So when you look at this, he's saying, listen, you teach them. Okay. What do we see now? With judges, they have to go through what? Schooling to learn the law, learn the Constitution or whatever. Okay. So that now you can judge according to that. Now, if only one person knew it, everybody would have to go to that one person because this is how we judge it according to our lands. But you'll teach it now. You can have all these different ones that now can what? The people can go to. So you don't got 1,000 people a day that you have to worry about handling matters with. You got 1,000 judges. So now it's everybody sharing that burden. Okay. And that's something, beloved, we deal with the body. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. Sometimes Most High will do it like that. But as you grow, some of the responsibilities and stuff should what? They should be facilitated out. Okay. Right now, I know even us, we're a little young, we're small in this thing. So a lot of us probably picking up some heavy weights, having burdens. But as more come and, because more people, more responsibility, you get certain leadership, you get certain roles and everything, and you just make it easier, makes it function better. Okay. But if one person, like I said, Moses dealing with all this, it was a whole lot. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next verse. All right. So he's saying, you must shall teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein thou must walk, and the work that they must do. All right. So you got to train them up and teach them. Same thing we do here, beloved. Train you up and teach you. Okay. And this is we will go, I'll save that. We'll go probably Corinthians and see something about that as well. All right, Brother Kai, let's read on verse 21.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them, to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, that every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Anybody, what that sound like, beloved? Jethro's counsel. What is he doing? And we can relate it to today's time. What is he doing? Some of y'all haven't been in trouble. That's a good sign, right? So are there different kind of courts? If you understand the courts, there's different kind of courts, right? You got municipal court, you got the family court, you have the superior court, right? What's anybody know the highest? Almost the highest court? What's the highest? Say that again.
Court.
I heard court. I just didn't hear one before. I just didn't hear the first part of it. I heard court, but I didn't hear the first part. What's the highest one in this?
Supreme Court.
Okay, all praise. Yes, Supreme Court, right? So Moses, if you understand it, Moses will be like the Supreme Court. Okay, so he's saying, listen, you're going to teach them. So now you're going to have all these judges. You'll have some, and he's giving you the numbers. Okay. Some over where's the 150? Yeah. You have some over thousands, some over 100, some over 50, and some over tens. All right. And the same thing with our courses, there's certain levels, right? This one, you got the superior, right? And then the ultimate one is the supreme. Every court, every matter don't get to the Supreme Court, right? Usually that's a big, big matter that, is having trouble through the courts below. And it's like, all right, this needs a big thing. Now we need an ultimate authority dealing with it. And that's when it'll get to Moses. So that will cut Moses' load by a lot. Okay. So he got all these different officers, and this is what they're doing. Okay. And it should be somewhat the same way today, beloved. Okay. Right now we're small, so handle some matters. But as you grow, you get hundreds and you got thousands of people and everything. You don't want to put all that on the leader, right? You'll have certain, offshoots, deacons, those kind of things, and certain matters can funnel through them. And if something's very serious or a matter with maybe somebody that judges, you have to go kind of above them. Okay. So he showed them that order, and we see that is more functioning, and what it will save him, from burning out even quicker, even because Israel's already a trip. All right. So you deal with Israel all day, that can age you very quickly. right? We see the presidents, them 4 years, look at them before the 4 years and after it. Stress can age you drastically, okay? So, and he was dealing with this every day, all day. So Moses would have burnt out very quickly, okay? So this is good wisdom. However, I want us to understand the point. He ain't say just grab anybody and teach them stuff, okay? Look at verse 21, because this, I want you to understand this law stuff is still applicable. Even when you look at they talk about the office of deacon and bishop and everything, when Paul started kind of naming these things, all right? This is not something particularly new. Brother Kai, read that verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he's telling them, teach the laws and teach the ordinances to these people, all right, so they can judge correctly. But how the judge need to be? Verse 21.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness.
All right, so you see there's a certain standard. All right. They should provide out of all the people able men. All right. You're dealing with that leadership and things like that. Just in case anybody asks, you can be a judge in. Now I'm trying to think if I should just throw that out there like that. Matter of fact, I'll reserve my judgment on that because I was going to say it don't matter if you're man or woman in America doing it, because it's their thing. However, you got to I believe you got to take an oath to observe it. And if it's contrary to the Most High, it can be that conflict of interest. So that's why I didn't want to throw it out there. So I'm not going to throw it out there. Okay. However, with us, when it comes to it, men are supposed to be that covering and things like that. So this is why it was situated like that. And that didn't change. This is why even Paul and them New Testaments is still the same way. Okay. But not just any men. Okay. Any man can't just become a leader, become a judge. No. Okay. So he's saying thou should provide out of all the people able men. All right. Because everybody's not able. It's fair. Oh my God, yeah, it's chauvinist stuff, and it's just about the men. No, it's just understanding. But all men are not able. Because we just saying men is one of the qualifications, but just because you got something in your legs does not make you a judge or a proper judge. No. Okay. When we dealing with Israel, it's supposed to be righteousness. Okay. So able men, what they must do, fear God. It's not they have a reverence of God. If you reverence the Most High, you're going to reverence his laws and his statutes and his commandments. All right? You're not going to be taking advantage of that. You're not going to be using your power for evil doing and wrongdoing. Okay? This is the kind of men he's saying. Able men such as fear God, men of truth.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to be a man of truth? This is not just blabbing out laws and commandments and all this stuff. No, it's about living this thing. You're supposed to reflect the truth. You're supposed to reflect the laws. Can't be, well, I know what's right, but I'm not going to do what's right. No. It should not have, Christ should not have to say, do as they say, but not as they do. He should not have to say that. They're supposed to be men of truth. Men of truth should be the same way. This is why Paul was still getting on him, saying what? You that teacheth a man should not steal, do you steal? You that's teaching don't commit adultery, do you commit adultery? Do you commit fornication? You that teach people not to lie and bear false witness, do you lie and do you bear false witness? Because if you're doing the action but saying the right thing, you're not a man of truth. You're a man of hypocrisy. And that's not one that should be judging the people. I don't care how good they sound. I don't care how much that's not a man of truth. And it shouldn't hurt nobody's feelings, but if it does, it is what it is. You're just making a point. You're not a man of truth. You don't like that. Well, it's hard. I can't live it. Listen, ain't having that. Because guess what? That's going to leak into your judgment. All right? How you do everything, beloved, it's going to reflect. If you somebody that's half in, half out, guess what your judgment is going to be? Half in, half out. The Most High don't deal with halves. He wants all of you. Either you're going to be a man of truth or a man of Satan. But you're not going to be both. Okay. This ain't Michael. Listen, this ain't Michael, Brother Michael's rule. I'm just telling you what the scriptures are saying. Okay. So, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness. And I love that they put hating it. I want you to understand hating it, despising covetousness. Because a lot of times people that don't despise it, right, they'll start making exemptions and making room for it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hate people. I hate people that still, guess what? That person ain't going to be letting no thief get away and take advantage of things in the law. But the problem is nowadays we got a lot of what? A lot of people that's definitely the power, the people that have the power, a lot of them are covetous. And that's why what? You can buy them off. You can buy being innocent in this wickedness. And that's what's scary about these wicked judges. It ain't no true judgment running. But in Israel, it shouldn't matter if you're rich, poor, right? Whether you're a male or female, okay? Whether you're a widow, whether you're a stranger, I'm gonna say it again, whether you're a stranger, whether you're black, white, it don't matter what it is. Our judgment is supposed to be what? Pure. But you got some of us that are not true men of the truth. And you're perverting the scriptures. That's still a part of what? Covetousness. See, they think coveting is just, oh, I'm going to covet. It's just about money. No, that's a piece of it. You trying to covet something that's not you. Some people want to be judges because they see the honor the judge get. Oh, I want that honor. Covet. I want people come in the room. Oh, hey, elder. Oh, you went for the wrong thing, beloved. All right. So when we're dealing with this covetousness, we're going to see in a few chapters because it talks about even how certain judges are. We're not going to see that today, but you'll see that we don't even take bribes and things like that. You ain't supposed to be doing that, right? Because that can pervert the judgment. Okay. So we have to be mindful of that. So men of truth, hating covetousness. Okay. So it's a certain caliber of men. All right. And then he's saying, choose them, you teach them the laws. Okay. So when they get it, they'll do it right. And that's the same thing nowadays, beloved. When we are ordaining somebody or anything like that, we want to see if they are walking a walk. All right. We want to see if they're going to be examples, if they're going to be proper role models. Okay. And some people might, I'm struggling right now. That's it's good to understand that you're struggling. You might not be able to do it right there. That's honorable. Okay. But, even though if you get big enough, there's some people cracks in the wall and everything, but you do all you can do. All right. We're supposed to make sure we examine it, right? And make sure they pass those things. And then, Most High take it from there. But don't just make somebody something because, they seem cool. They, they're putting a certain amount of money in the collection plate. Let's make them a leader. No. That don't make them a leader. All right. So we got to make sure everything is in decent and order, all right, and according to the scriptures. Yes, more morality. Yeah, absolutely, sis. All right. So once again, this will be something, and the same thing. You'll see this same kind of, not the exact same wording, but you'll see basically they're just saying the same thing, just wrapped in different wrappings, in the even when we get in the New Testament as well. Okay. So we understand judges can also be rulers when you understand, like in the Hebrew, judges can be rulers. So you can see them kind of interchanging. They're the rulers of the people. Did you read verse 22?
No.
Okay, good. Hold it. Can we read Deuteronomy 1, 5, 15? Okay, yes. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 1. Let's see. And she said from verse 5. 5 through 15. 5 through 15. Deuteronomy chapter 1, 5 through 15. Some water while you're doing that.
On this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law, saying, Yahweh our power spake unto us in Horeb, saying, Ye had dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites and unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. And I spake unto you at that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. Yahweh your power hath multiplied you, and behold, you are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. Yahweh, God of your fathers, make you 1,000 times so many more as ye are, and bless you as he had promised you. How can I myself bear your cumbrance and your burden and your strife? Take you wise men and understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. And ye answered me, and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, captains over hundreds, captains over fifties, captains over tens, and officers among your tribes. Keep going to verse 16.
Yeah, read verse 16.
Yeah.
We pull up.
Okay, verse 16. And I charge your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. I might as well read verse 17.
You are, but I'm gonna stop at 16 real quick.
All right.
Because it's the same point. I'm glad I've even went to this. Because once again, seeing it in other places. All right. You will grab them from your tribe. So it's supposed to be us because what are we supposed to be? What was our inheritance? Being what? Priests and kings over the earth. Okay. So this was part of our inheritance. That's why he's saying specifically, you grab them from the tribes. Okay. Now, when you go to 16, and I charge your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren. Okay. And judge righteously. Okay, that's why you can't be coveting, because you're not going to judge righteously. That's perverts judgment. All right, and judge righteously between every man and his brother and the stranger that is with him. Because I don't know where it comes from. Well, I do know where it comes from. But now we can deal unrighteously with somebody that's not Israel. That is not what the law of God said. Supposed to deal righteously with everyone. Because you see what people do? You'll get in that little, nationhood and love Israel, love them to death, right? Or life. But when you look at that, some people pervert their judgment. Oh, Israelite stole from this heathen or whatever. But you know what? He's Israel, so I'm gonna, forgive her. I'm gonna, say that the heathen he deserves that anyway. He took a lot from me, from us anyway, so they should get. No, that's perverting the judgment. Right? And this is why I say you have to be righteous dealing with this stuff. Okay? But this is what Israel was doing. But the point is how they're supposed to do it. We're supposed to look out and what? You're supposed to get good, reputable people. I love how it's saying you get the ones that's known. All right? The ones that's respected. And respect don't always come because people like you. Respect come, well, I ain't really crazy about them, but at least they're fair. I can say that they're fair. That's a good rap. Okay? They don't be lying. They don't be talking about people. That's part of reputation. Okay. All right. But the Kai, let's get the next verse. All right. Let's get the next verse. And then we'll take another spot since she already took us here. I'm going to put you.
Verse 17. You shall not respect persons in judgment, and you shall hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's. And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it.
Mm. All right. That's another good point. Matter of fact, tomorrow we're dealing with it. No, I can't go that one because we're gonna deal with it tomorrow, so I'm not gonna go to it. But just remember, we're supposed to be judging. We're gonna be judging. We're supposed to be judging things. All right, and this is why Paul gets it because he understands this kind of. He understands the law and the prophets. All right, but we're gonna read tomorrow, so I'll save it. But we look at this. You should not respect persons in judgment. So you should not respect the person. Oh, that's my boy Kai. You know what I mean? Me and Kai, we've been, kicking it a long time. So when he go in judgment with somebody else, I'm going to favor Kai, and Kai's going to get, oh damn, Kai was wrong, but you know what? That's my boy. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to. I know what the law say I should do, but I'm going to, kind of hold back or change it, so I can benefit him because that's my boy, right? We've been there. He helped me out. You can't have that in judgment. Judgment is supposed to be separate from you. It's supposed to be truth. You're just supposed to be echoing what the law is saying to them. Okay. So this is why it's so important as well. Because this can become a problem, beloved. This is why I said it's a problem. And definitely when you get in church and everything, you see a lot of cliques and stuff like that. Oh, this is the people over here, the people. When it comes to judgment, I don't care. All right. And thank God I got raised the way I do. Like, family don't sway me. If anything, it might be worse, but like, listen, you know better. Okay. So when we come into it and anybody come to judgment, believe me, you're going to hear what thus saith the Lord. Anybody know me? I'm not going to bat an eye if I've been around. I don't care if I've been around you the whole time I knew you. Day one. It will not change the judgment. Okay. And we have to build a reputation. People should feel that, right? If we start stating stuff, they should know, oh yeah, nah, that brother ain't like that. And they should know when we give our judgment, it's nothing personal. Okay. So also, we look at, so should not have respect the persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Okay. You shouldn't dismiss it. Oh, that's some small stuff. No, we ain't dealing with that. No. You should hear all matters. Okay. Not just the matters that's going to bring you fame or bring you this and that. You hear all matters. You treat them the same. Okay. You should not be afraid of the face of man, so don't be afraid of who comes. Don't have respect of person. Oh man, this is somebody high up, this somebody that have power. Nope, they get the same treatment. Okay. And this is, like I said, eliminating favoritism. We're not supposed to have favoritism in that way where it's polluting the judgment. Okay. For the judgment is God's. That's why he's saying, don't worry about this. Is God's judgment. This ain't supposed to be nothing with you. And listen to this part, beloved. We like to talk about the spirit. And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. Okay. And ultimately, we can go up to higher ups if we're, somebody lower, you want to go to your leader. But ultimately, if there's a thing that's too high, we're supposed to tap into the spirit. Right. Well, I won't even say too high. We should be in the spirit the whole time. All right. But there's some matters that are clear through the law. And then there's some matters like, the law don't talk about it exactly. So I got to tap in the spirit and say, Lord, give me the judgment to this because it's maybe not spelled out, or I don't have the understanding of the scriptures where it's spelled out clearly and guide me. So this is where, we're supposed to be led by the spirit. Okay. But this is why you want to pick these kind of people, because guess what? People that's wicked and everything, they can't tap into the spirit. So they just going to be tapping into their own self. But if somebody's being led and doing and fearing God, they're going to tap into the spirit because they don't want to be wrong in judgment. Okay. They take that serious because they know it's an honor that the Most High bestowed upon them. And it's a great responsibility. Okay. All right. And there's another passage, I'm going to get to it now. It's actually dealing with if you bring I think if you said something bad about a woman of Israel, this is good for ladies. Brothers can't just be saying a name about you. Know how people are like, oh, she's the B or she's the O there. You don't just be throwing them names out in Israel. No, that's a serious offense. They actually, you can be a grown man beat if you say the wrong thing. But it's also something in the law that talks about if there is a matter that's too hard, right? You have a disagreement between parties, and it's like a hard matter, maybe it's not clear, you will actually, it actually says go to the judges, and they basically will have to tap into the spirit where basically they'll give you the judgment and you have to abide by it. Okay. So what is that showing? That everything is not going to be spelled out in the scriptures, beloved. I'll say that again. Everything is not spelled out perfectly in the scriptures, but it's a good guide in the spirit you can draw from it. All right. But your leaders need to be, all right, in the spirit. Okay. That's the only way you'll get proper judgment. Okay. All right. Let's go back to Exodus. All right. And that was a good passage, sis. That's a good passage. So now I'm consumed to find that scripture. All right, let's go to, absolutely. What verse you leave off at, brother?
I believe I'm on verse 22.
All right, read 22.
Okay. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Mm-hmm.
If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace.
So he's saying, let them judge basically all year round, all season round. Okay. They're dealing with the small matters. If it's too heavy for them, then you can take care of the heavy matters. All right. So it'd be what? And this will what? So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. All right. Moses, you should not be bearing the burden of all these thousands on yourself. Okay. Share that burden to preserve you, preserve them, and it be done accordingly and decently. Okay. Definitely, if they think a matter is going to take forever, people might start taking things in their own hands. Oh, I don't know when we're going to be able to get to Moses. We got a 5-week line here. You know what I mean? So it's more effective. Okay. And this is what the Most High sometimes do. Sometimes he'll bring somebody that's not part of fold or whatever, and can still drop, some wisdom on you. Okay. So this is why I should always be ready to just reject something. Hear it out. Most High can be giving you something. All right, let's keep going. Finish it up, Brother Kai.
So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land.
All right. So once again, when we're looking at it, beloved, he did listen to his father-in-law. All right, he heard that wisdom. That works, right? Sounds good. All right, and he did that. Okay, so all the small matters go to other judges, and then the big matters go to the Supreme Court, all right, which will be Moses. Okay. And this worked out great for us. All right. This was something very good that was in place in Israel from this. Okay. I do understand the other verse that I got. So let me bring that out. Deuteronomy 17. Let y'all know. Well, y'all should know by now. I'll just be trying to say anything. I know it's in there. I just sometimes don't know exactly where it be at. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 17. I'm showing this because people love to go, oh, the law is just black and white, but it's about the spirit, not everything. Nah, this law is spiritual, beloved. All right. It's always about the spirit. Okay. Only thing is that law is showing us stuff. You're supposed to be what? That's supposed to be feeding. That's part of the spirit supposed to be feeding you. Okay. But the end goal is not just to be able to robot this, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. It's supposed to be what? It's supposed to be, it's a living word. It's by getting this in you. And then now what? You are that, right? You become the walking book. You just know stuff. And certain things you might not even have per se the scripture for it, but your judgment is right in line with the scriptures. Now people will say certain times, people don't even know. They'll say something and they don't know that it's even a scripture, but they just say it, but they're in the spirit. And sometimes you have a little bit of understanding, like, that's actual scripture that brother just quoted, or that sister maybe just quoted. Because what? The spirit's over there, and the spirit's going to give you the right stuff. Okay. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 17. We're going to just get right to the point of it. All right, verse 8. Let's go to 17. Oh, it's already there. Okay, see the spirit, beloved. 17 and verse 8.
If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then thou shalt arise and get thee up into the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose. And thou shalt come.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment.
All right. So if you having it's a hard thing between blood and blood, plea and plea, whatever it is, it's a hard matter that arises. Saying you come into the place where the Lord God shall choose. Okay. And we understand that spiritually now. That could be, whatever that congregation or anything, that'll be that place for you. You'll go to them and what? And this is why I'm saying it, because that verse 8 is not a period, right? It's still, this is kind of going connected with 8. All right, you see the punctuation. And thou shalt come into the priests, the Levites. Okay. Remember the priests were in that, they'll be judges. All right. They'll be the judges and rulers as well. Okay. Thou shalt come into the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days. All right. So there's definitely certain judges in those days, and inquire and listen. And they shall show thee the sentence of judgment, right? You come to them. It's a matter that's hard. They're supposed to what? Tap into the spirit. Lord, what should we do? And then they're going to give you a sentence. Okay. Why is it saying that? Because it might not be marked out clearly. It wouldn't be that hard of a matter, but this is a matter that probably don't have it's probably something like, they don't technically go with this law. I don't know exactly how we should handle this. It's for those kind of things. Okay. So they will tap into the spirit and they will give a judgment. Read verse 10. Let's see the weight of this.
And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of the place which the Yahweh shall choose shall shew thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee.
You see the law he's saying here? You're going to go to the leader, go to the Levites and all that, the priests, or it'll be the leadership in the church, and they will give you what? The judgment. Okay? And whatever that judgment or sentence is, he's saying that's what you're going to do. Let's see it, because there's still more weight to this. See if it's optional. Verse 11.
According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall shew thee to the right hand, nor to the left.
And this goes, I'm saying this for this matter, but as well as anything. They give you the judgment, don't go to the left or right. All right, you do what that judgment is. Okay. Read verse 12.
And the man that do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before Yahweh thy power, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away evil from Israel.
If they didn't hearken to that man got given that judgment, it could even cost you your life. Okay. So once again, I'm just only showing that because this is why it's so important for leadership to be righteous. All right, for those things. Now, listen, there was times when the leaders were not right. Okay, and they was perverting the judgment. The Most High will get them, no doubt about it. Okay, and people scared of the leadership. All right, I say that you're scared of your leadership, you probably don't need to be there then. Okay, if you think they wicked and doing all that stuff, they should be your leaders. Because I'll get some questions sometimes, like, Brother Mike, I'm giving tithes and stuff to this place, but I think the preacher and everything, I think they taking the tithes and everything. You want me to throw off on them? Why are you giving them? Why are you there? If you think your man of God's a thief, first of all, I'm not you shouldn't be giving money to a thief. But why are you in that congregation thinking you're gonna get righteousness and he's a big old thief? Okay. So sometimes some little games like, listen, I know somebody we throw off, but that's only going to be, something you can think about with yourself, right? So, beloved, you want to make sure, all right, you inquire. Don't just jump to anybody. Oh, they sound like they know somebody. Yeah, a lot of devils do. Okay, you want to make sure they show themselves and show good reputation. Okay, and this is what even with us, the men of God, that's a responsibility. Okay, are they showing the what? The fruits of the spirit. You're gonna see people come, people go, right? Some people got ulterior motives why they do things, beloved. Everybody don't want to be a true leader in the ministering sense that Christ brought out, right? To serve the people. Everybody ain't to serve the people. Some people want to get in these things to, to serve themselves. All right. But what we desire here is that what? All the leadership, all right, be on one accord, doing the same thing. And I'll take the blunt of, oh, Michael, just listen, because I know, love it, I know my heart. And I know the Most High knows my heart. And I'll do everything in my power and the Spirit of the Most High to protect. Okay? And I mean that with all love and due respect. But if there's some guy think they're just gonna roll up in here, smooth stuff, and just think they're gonna, you're gonna have to show yourself to be a man, to be reputable. Okay? Because that's how the church is going to change, by we doing things decently and in order, and doing it how the scriptures told us to do it. Okay? So that just goes just showing us, like I said, beloved, it's very important. Okay. And like we said, we're looking at this, and it's good to see that Jethro has a hand in how we did things. Okay. People don't like to talk about that, but Jethro showed a lot of wisdom and gave that to Moses, and that really, really made a big difference in Israel. Okay. So, beloved, as the body, if the Most High want this body to grow and everything, we also praying that, he brings proper leadership so it can be what? It'll be better for the body. Okay. And everybody on here, beloved, y'all been with me, been with us for a while, right? Y'all are leaders as well. All right. Make sure y'all eyes open as well. I don't see everything. Okay. I was laughing, laughing with my brother Kai. Cause I say sometimes I be in my zone, I got 1,000 things in my mind, doing certain, and I don't see certain things. I don't notice certain things. Okay. So I always ask y'all, please, we are one body. We all helping each other. All right. All taking care of each other. We all thinking about the other person's needs. All right. Everybody got that same mind to think about others. How great would the Spirit be dwelling with us, beloved? All right. All right. That's it on my end. Do we have any questions or anything in the chat? Okay. Let me turn it off.